Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my guest, my uncle, Andrew Barreto, and today we're going to cover some NFL news, some signings from today, and some mock drafts, and then some big NBA injuries have happened recently, and with playoffs coming up, those will be some impacts. But we'll start off with the NFL signing news. Today, the Stefon Diggs, free agent coming off of torn ACL last year with the Texans, he signs a 3-year, $69 million deal with the Patriots. Like I said, obviously he's coming off the torn ACL from Week 8 last year, but he was having a good year with the Texans up to that point, and then he goes down with the injuries, and then now Patriots sign him. They have a young quarterback and Drake May, and hopefully that will help them out. I mean, what do you think about this signing?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of signing like that, a veteran like Diggs, I mean, that could help a young quarterback when you have a go-to guy you could throw to. Uh, but yeah, what did you say? 69 million and 26 of it guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help the confidence of a young May there, and yeah, I like the signing.
Yeah, I think it's good for them. They get a veteran receiver. Obviously, the Patriots, they've been kind of like rebuilding the last couple of years, so they're a young team. They got a young quarterback. Obviously, they have what pick do they have in the draft? I think they have a top pick in the draft. Let's see, I don't remember which one it is.
Mhm.
But yeah, they have a high draft pick. They got a young rookie quarter or almost rookie. He was rookie last year, but yeah, they have the fourth pick in the draft, so they have a great
They
draft
got the fourth
pick.
pick. Yeah,
Um, they're a very young team, and then I add a veteran receiver and Diggs. Diggs has been in the league for a while. He's played with many different quarterbacks. I think it's a great addition for them. I mean, obviously they have. Um, I honestly don't know. Obviously, like I said, they have Drake May. Um, they honestly don't have much offensive weapons. I think my mind's blanking right now.
well,
But
no, like you said, they've been rebuilding, and whoever they had of that was a name is probably long gone, and now they're just like rebuilding. You got this, what is this? It's going to be a second year, Drake May, I
yeah,
think, second young quarterback, and he's just trying to, just get that receiver there, kind of like a cushion when he gets in trouble. There's a go-to guy you could count on, just hopefully, injuries don't plague him, and he's able to, suit up for the Patriots.
yeah. Like he probably won't be. I don't know actually if he's be ready. He's been working out over the off season. It looks like he could start. He's ready to start week 1. But we'll get more news on that. Obviously, like I said, the Patriots 4-13. They were last place in the AFC East. May though, in his starts, he played 13 games. He had 2,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 INTs. He was sacked 34 times. So obviously, you don't want to see a young quarterback sacked a lot. But his leading receiver, or the leading receiver on the Patriots was Hunter Henry. He had 674 yards. And then they have other guys like Demario Douglas, Kayshawn Butte, Austin Hooper, Kendrick Bourne, um, Jalen Polk, but they're not big name guys. They're just a lot of younger, uh, smaller name receivers. So I think Diggs will be very good for May in his development. Obviously, he's a great slot receiver. He's a 1,000 yard receiver. He's like I said, he's played with a lot of different quarterbacks, a lot of great quarterbacks, and hopefully he will help the development of Drake May and help Drake May have a great sophomore year.
Absolutely, I think so.
Yeah. And then another signing today, obviously, a couple quarterbacks left on the market. Russell Wilson was unsigned, Aaron Rodgers was unsigned, but today Russell Wilson finally, after making some stops, he was with Pittsburgh, talking with them. He was talking with Cleveland, but he finally makes the decision. He signs with the Giants on a 1 year. It's 10.5 million guaranteed, and it could get up to 21 million. Um, Wilson 36, he's getting up there in age, but Giants, need of a quarterback. They signed the veteran. You think this is good for them, or you think they still draft a quarterback with their was it fifth
Well,
third overall pick?
yeah, sooner or later they're going to need a quarterback. So I mean, I still think like this is seems to be like a draft heavy, quarterback draft heavy year. So I think they should still do it. I know the latest ESPN mock draft doesn't have them doing that since the signing. They have them taking a Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan, which seems to be switching all the time because before that they had a Shedeur Sanders going number 3 here to the Giants. Um, which I mean, I like that pick, especially they're going through a rebuild as well, and
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is no longer the man there. Um, they need a lot of like the Patriots. They need a lot of pieces for them to be competitive again. I think, anyways. And but yeah, no, I think they should still draft a quarterback, but then again, like this, we'll see. I mean, maybe they can trade down and uh, get one later on, or
Yeah,
it's
because
only a 1 year deal.
I forgot because yeah, like you said, it is a 1 year deal, but I forgot they signed Jameis Winston as well. So they got two veteran QBs as well as Tommy DeVito. Obviously, Tommy DeVito is probably not gonna make the
What
roster. He'll
happened?
probably be
What happened? I thought he had some magic.
yeah. He was very famous for those couple of games a
Yeah,
couple
I
seasons
like
ago.
it. You always
But
root
yeah,
for a guy like that,
yeah, you do. But definitely, yeah, they definitely do. They do have two veteran quarterbacks, obviously both starting caliber quarterbacks in the league. But yeah, that does bring up the question. Do they draft a young guy like Shedeur? Because like it's how long are you gonna have him sit behind those two guys? They have some big name guys. The Giants, they got Malik Neighbors last year was great receiver, a great rookie receiver. They signed Javon Holland this offseason. They have Jalen Hyatt. They have, Dexter Lawrence and what's his name? Andrew Thomas, the tackle. He was out last year. Hopefully he'll be coming back healthy. They have John Running that they signed. Darius Slayton, Devin Singletary, Kayvon Thibodeau, and I'm blanking on his name right now. He's the other defensive end.
yeah.
But
Maybe they don't. Yeah, like you said, the Giants have two veteran quarterbacks. Maybe that's the route they take this year. Is one or the other. Russ Wilson starting, Winston coming off the bench, which we know with his career, he's kind of flourished in that role, coming off the bench and bringing some life to the whatever team he's played for. He's
yeah,
done that a couple times, right? Saints, Buccaneers. Uh, that could be the way to go because depending on the Giants coach and everyone's trying to win today, and it's
yeah.
taking
You can't wait on
they can't
someone
wait,
to like I said,
right?
no, not everyone's gonna be like Jaden Daniels where they come out their rookie year and just
First year,
take their team to the conference championship.
yeah.
So yeah, that might be the route they're looking to do. Obviously, like I said, it's a short 1 year deal. It could be they still could draft quarterback and just have him sit behind the two. But I think that'd be almost kind of like a waste. If you sign those two veterans just to draft a rookie to sit behind both of them. Um, But yeah, I think like I said, they do have some very great players at certain positions. Like I said, they got Dexter Lawrence at defensive tackle. They have Malik Neighbors, Javon Holland at safety. They have a great left tackle, and Andrew Thomas. They have Kayvon Thibodeau as an edge rusher. They also have is his name? I'm blanking on his name. He came over from Carolina, but he's also another edge rusher. So they have some
Let's see.
studs on their team, but quarterbacks. Um,
Would you
Obviously the
say
biggest.
receiver?
No, he's an edge rusher. Let's see. But yeah, obviously quarterback's
I
been their
never heard
main
of half
issue.
these guys.
Huh. He's a big name. I mean, they just haven't been had a quarterback the last season or two. Obviously, they had Daniel Jones for a while. They went to the playoffs with him, and then they signed him to an extension, and it just didn't work out. And then now they're on the hunt again for okay, who's gonna be our new starting quarterback? But
And that would be a high pick too. For the Giants to get a quarterback and then have him third quarterback behind the other two
Yeah,
guys. I mean, usually when you're picking high in that draft, you need an immediate impact kind of guy. You need a guy to get in there and start playing because what did they win? Three games last year,
yeah, they're
three and
three and
14
14.
last year. I mean, they need some help and they need them to play and not sit the bench.
Yeah, obviously, if you're gonna draft someone that high, either like you want him to start, sit behind like a veteran quarterback, and then take over midway through the year. But the guy I was thinking of is Brian Burns. That's the edge rusher I was thinking of. Great edge rusher. They have a great D line, and obviously, like you said, in the updated mock draft, it has them taking Mason Graham, probably the best defensive tackle in the draft out of Michigan. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, you know, you don't expect a quarterback being picked third overall to sit behind two veteran guys. Obviously, like you said, you want immediate impact. I mean, they could trade back, acquire some more picks, and like you said, draft maybe a guy like Jackson Dart and maybe like the second round or Jalen Milrow and. But yeah, you can't waste a third round pick on a quarterback they're gonna have sit behind two guys. You needed someone that's gonna take over within this year or two. But they definitely like have options that on the third overall pick. They could
Yeah, that's the
they
beauty of the draft is they have what do they have like 5 rounds? I mean, you could find a quarterback in the rough there, a diamond in the rough that uh, as a quarterback, unknown that like a Brock Purdy or we've seen it time and time again. Guys get down enough in the draft where it becomes a steal, and yeah, you never know. But I agree. I don't think that you're going to the conference championship or knocking on the door of a Super Bowl.
yeah, obviously third overall pick, a lot of talent is available. Like in this mock draft, obviously Cam Ward's going first overall, the Titans, which should be honestly a no-brainer for them. I mean, if they pick anyone else but a quarterback, that's just kind of head scratching because after watching Will Levis all of last year, you wouldn't see him as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And then the Browns with the second pick, they take Travis Hunter, but they could go Abdul Carter. They could go honestly with they could go Shedeur Sanders with the second overall pick, and like I said, the Giants could get Travis Hunter. So the Patriots are taking Armand Membo, the offensive tackle out of Missouri. Then it has Abdul Carter, probably the most talented player in the draft. He goes to Jacksonville at 5, and then at 6, it has the Raiders picking Ashton Jeanty. I know we kind of talked about this in
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
our previous episodes, but I mean, like I said, they had Geno Smith, but obviously he's not your quarterback for the long term. Do they take a running back at 6?
yeah. It seems to be a lot of these mock drafts have that pick for the Raiders. Um, I forgot who's the Raiders have again. I know we talked about it briefly, but I
Uh,
feel like they're lacking the running back position
they
because
they are they are lacking. They just signed Raheem Mostert the other
that's
day.
right. Okay, that's right.
Obviously he led the league in touchdowns a couple seasons ago. I think he's up kind of up there in age. I think he's 30. I believe he's 31. They have him. They have Zamir White that they drafted a few years ago, and that's Sincere McCormick, who was honestly their best running back last year when he played, but unfortunately the season was cut short due to a knee injury. So I mean, running back is still a position that they need, but I just don't know if you fill that up, you fill that position with your sixth overall pick, right? I
Right.
mean, obviously this draft class has a lot of great running backs in it. There's many good running backs that you could take in the later rounds. So I don't know if obviously GT's a very talented player. He had 2,000 plus rushing yards last year with Boise State, but I just don't know if you used your sixth overall pick on a running back. I mean, obviously the Raiders need, they need a corner. They do need a quarterback in the future. So if somehow Shedeur falls, like in this mock draft, they have Shedeur falling
Yeah.
the 10th overall pick. I mean, I think the Raiders draft him if he's there.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he's there at 6, I mean, you almost have to get him because eventually, sooner than later, they're going to find themselves in the situation where they need to find a quarterback again. I mean, hopefully Geno Smith, pans out, but that's just the NFL, right? I mean, he could have 1, 2 decent years, and next, we're looking in the draft. It does drop. I think they draft them and go ahead and keep them behind Geno Smith and see how that goes. But yeah, I see that ESPN has it drop, has Shedeur Sanders dropping all the way. There's a trade made between the Bears and the Steelers for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, is obviously the Raiders. Like I said, I think they should. If Shadeur's there at 6, they should take him. But I mean, they could fill in some positions. Obviously, they have Jacoby Myers. I think he's on the last year of his contract, but they could use another wide receiver. They could go Tedward McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. They do need more depth at corner. They could go Will Johnson from Michigan off, even though he missed a couple of games last year. But they also need linebackers. They lost their starting linebacker and they missed out on some of the best linebackers out on the market. So they could definitely go linebacker, with that sixth overall pick. They could go Jalen Walker from Georgia. But yeah, I don't know. GT, like I said, talented player. I just don't know if you draft him at 6. Obviously, the Raiders do need a running game, but as long as you have a good enough offensive line, it shouldn't be. You could probably get enough rushing yards with a decent running back.
Yeah, and we'll see. We have a new offensive coordinator, right? I mean, it's now Chip Kelly, and we'll see what he changes there. I know it didn't go well for the running backs last year. Like you said, we got all the way down to the third string running back,
Yeah,
who started off well, and we thought, oh yeah, this is looking good, and then like you said, injuries plagued him, and yeah, I just if Sanders is there, I pick him as well. We do need the running back. So when you're a team that needs so many picks, it's just so many positions to fill. It's kind of difficult to pick who you need when you need all the above.
yeah,
uh, but yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I guess either way, I wouldn't be upset. It's just kind of like these draft picks are hit and miss. I mean, you hear about the Trey Lances of the world, and then you have the uh, I'm drawing a blank. We just talked about the Redskins guy,
Oh, Jaden Daniels.
Jane Daniels. Yeah. See, so it's hit and miss in the draft. Fortunately, Raiders have missed more than they hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes and see how. But the Steelers, they have them choosing Sanders. Maybe that's because they still don't have a quarterback right now, right?
Yeah, no, they don't. They have, I think, Mason Rudolph is the guy they signed
Mason.
on. Obviously, Rogers is still available. He's obviously been linked to the Steelers and the Vikings, but the Vikings have JJ McCarthy. So we'll just have to wait and see on how that goes. But yeah, I don't believe the Raiders should take GT with that 6th pick. I think they could fill a position elsewhere, or they could even trade back if Shedeur is not there and acquire more picks. And but yeah, I don't believe they should take him in that 6th overall position. But moving on, in the NBA, obviously playoffs are soon. 10 games are like left in the season, and we've had some big injuries go down. Steph Curry, the Warriors, was injured the other day, or I shouldn't say the other day, like last week against the Raptors. He went out with the pelvic uh bone bruising injury. So he was practicing yesterday. He didn't play today against the Heat, and they ended up getting blown out. And then today, they said Damian Lillard, uh, out indefinitely. Let's see. I have to pull it up because it's very hard to announce. But he's out with the same thing. Victor Wembanyama is. It's called deep uh vein thrombosis. He has. It's like it's a condition where a blood clot forms deep in a vein. And he's gotten in his legs. He's taking blood thinners, but he's out indefinitely. And
Wow.
Bucks are in a position where they could fall in that playoff seed. And I believe they're in the 4th or the 5th seed. So
Yeah,
that's a
they're in the fifth seed. They have Detroit Pistons kind of chopping away at them there. It looks like maybe half a game separates them. I mean, I do see them tied currently, but but yeah, that's huge for the Bucks. I mean, for him to be out the remaining, like you said, 10 games or so, whatever's left. I mean, uh, yeah, they're fighting for playoff seeding right now, and well, you still got the Hawks are kind of 35 wins. It looks like there's like 4 games that they're behind, so that might be. I don't see the Bucks just without Lillard like losing, falling that much, but they could go from 5 to 6 like by tomorrow.
Yeah, most definitely. Because like the healthy Bucks team played a Warriors team without Steph last week or so, and then ended up losing. So obviously the Bucks team's not as talented as it was when they won that championship back in what 21. Obviously they don't have Drew Holiday anymore. They don't have Chris Middleton, and the bench isn't as good as it used to be. So yeah, it could be very bad for them. Obviously, Dame is supposed to be the two-piece combo with Giannis. Obviously I'll always say Giannis made the mistake of extending with Milwaukee. Should have came over to Golden State, but I think that's just some biasy
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's crucial for them. Like you said, they're on the brink of falling down in the standings, and playoffs are starting up, and that it is a big injury. It's what's keeping Wembanyama out for the rest of the year. It made Brandon Ingram out like one of his early years of his career. Then I think it was one of the reasons why Chris Bosh retired. So it's nothing to take lightly. It's a serious thing. Obviously, it's treatable, and most of the time it is like cured. So hopefully, he is good. Obviously, you want to see him play. He's a big name player. He's a big time clutch player. So hopefully we see him in the playoffs. But obviously, you gotta hope that he just becomes healthy.
yeah. Indefinitely. That's a big word there. That means that they just don't know when he's going to come back. I mean, they have to monitor it day by day, and like you said, he's on blood thinning medication right now, and hopefully that kind of stabilizes the issues he's having, and he comes back sooner than later. But yeah, indefinitely. I mean, that could be weeks to months, or I mean, just hearing that word, it's kind of like, oh, is he out for good? And that would
Yeah.
really tarnish the Bucks' championship hopes and their quest for another ring.
And then now, the Warriors stuck at the sixth seed. Obviously the two teams behind them are right there to take it from them. Like I said, they're on one of our last episodes. I said they're 0-3 in the play. They obviously don't want to be in that position, but Curry's got injured. They barely come out with the win against the Raptors, but they've lost back-to-back games pretty badly. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons, who blew them out of the water. Well, actually, no, they won by like 10. But today they lost to the Heat and Jimmy Butler's return to Miami, and they lost by 20. I mean, the team, obviously, Steph Curry is one of the best players ever. Obviously, listen to our one of our previous episodes where we talk about
Yeah,
Shaq talking about Curry being the GOAT. But yeah, he's obviously one of the greatest players ever. He's the leader, he's the captain, he's the main guy on in Golden State, and without him, obviously he's up there in age. He's gonna retire soon, so those younger guys got to step up. But tonight was just one of those nights when nothing was
yeah.
falling.
It didn't. It's like the Heat. They were not missing anything they shot tonight as well. They shot 68% from 3 point field, 55.8% on the field goals in general. I mean, it was just something else. Like Bam and Tyler Hero, they were not missing. And even when there was a time where the Warriors brought it to within 8, I think Kaminga hit a pretty big three to bring it within 8, and these guys just came right back. They were missing. I mean, there's one point where I said, "Okay, if he makes that, I'm leaving." But yeah, it was tough, and I mean, that just proves again how valuable Steph Curry is to the Warriors. I mean, they go as far as he takes them. He's the MVP
Yeah.
of that team, and he's pretty much everything. He makes that whole everything run. And today was another. Like you said, the last 2 games it just proves that they will struggle against good and bad teams without number 30 on the court.
Yeah, so obviously the hopefully plays I believe on Friday against New Orleans. So he hopefully he should be back soon. But yeah, they can't afford to have any more bad losses where they drop in the standings. They need to stick where they're at. But yeah, I mean, he's just so valuable. I mean, not only is he just a great player, he can put up points, rebounds, assist himself, but he makes everyone around him that much better. I mean, Jimmy Butler struggled tonight. Obviously, when he's playing with Curry, he's dropping like 20 a game. It just shows how his gravitational pull when he's out there on the court, and it just yeah, they go as far as he leads them. Obviously, we saw that in 22. You know, he led them, and the rest of the team followed.
I don't know if you saw the box score for that game tonight, but it's just so funny to see like Bam. Bam was plus 23. Tyler Hero was plus 33. And then you got some other guys. Kyle Anderson was plus 24. And I was like, what's going? They were just they were
Yeah,
on today. They probably shot it. I'm guessing if it's not, it was a season high for them today as far as shooting percentage. And when a team at home shoots like that, that's just going to be impossible to get a victory. So hopefully they bounce back. Well, they'll need to.
yeah, they're gonna need to bounce back. Yeah, I saw a thing was like Darion Mitchell hit his second three of the game, and that was as much as the Warriors starters did all game. So tough to see, but hopefully 30 comes back sooner rather than later. But we're gonna call some women's college basketball news. Obviously, I'm not a big college sports fan. Obviously, I'll watch the big games. I'll watch the Final Four. I'll watch the championship. But I haven't been keeping up with the men's, which I probably should have. I saw that recent. I think the was it the Michigan versus. I forgot what game it was, but it was like the controversial travel. Well, whatever. But I'm here. I'm talking about Juju Watkins is out for the rest of the year with a torn ACL, and I mean she's only a sophomore at USC. She's averaging 24 games, almost 7 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, they still ended up winning their last game, 96-59. But now she's out for the rest of the year, and they're in the Sweet 16 now. They play Kansas State. Was it tomorrow? No, they play Kansas State in a couple of days. But that is a big loss for the Trojans. I mean, do they still have a shot to win the whole thing without her?
It's tough when you. I mean, it's just like we're talking Curry without the Warriors, right? I mean, Juju Watkins should, the star of that team. Yeah, they have a shot, absolutely. But when your star player goes out, and I mean, it kind of takes all your any kind of momentum that you had. It's like it's a downer, right? It's just like that you could see everybody was just watching the video actually right now. We're going down, and everybody that's quiet in the
Yeah.
arena there, and it's just like uh, when it's like that, like everyone's giving her space, that it's bad news, and it will be tough. It will be tough to move on. I mean, I'm sure the number one seed they have for a reason. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
obviously she's not the whole team, but she's obviously the biggest part of it. And like I said, she's only a sophomore, so she'll be able to. Obviously, for women, they have to go through all 4 years of college before they could get drafted. So obviously, she could recover. I want to say maybe all of next year, but she could recover most of next year and then come back for her senior year fully healthy and get herself prepared for that draft because she is probably first overall pick potential.
mhm.
But that'll
And who's got that pick? Who's got that pick? I think isn't it the Valkyries,
no, I
San
think the
Francisco?
No, I think this year I don't know who has the first pick. I think the Valkyries have like the third pick or so. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully she recovers well and comes back, next year during her junior year and balls out and then balls out her senior year. But that'll probably cover it all for now. Tomorrow though is opening day for MLB. I know you're not the biggest baseball fan, but MLB starting up, so we're gonna have to get some
Oh, okay.
start talking about some
I'm gonna have to do.
baseball.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing some homework then. Okay, is who's playing? Is Jason Giambi still playing?
No, but a guy named Shohei Ohtani is.
Oh boy.
It'll be a Shohei Ohtani versus Tariq Skubal matchup tomorrow. The Tigers and the Dodgers. The Padres play the Braves. Giants play the Reds. So a lot of good matchups tomorrow. But yeah, baseball season is officially back, and nice to see. Like I said, I've been starting to become a bigger baseball fan as time goes on. So it'll be a good thing to see. But that's all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank my guest, my uncle, for joining me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and turn your notifications on when we upload. Uploading is gonna be a little weird. Like I said, I'm still in school, so yeah, I'm trying to get one every Tuesday and Friday, but
Yeah,
sometimes it's gonna shift. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. But until next time, stay ready.